Injectable grey market peptides have become the latest in the looks maxing community, spurred on by the likes of Clavicular, as they've been pushed as miracle substances that enhance beauty.
I'm taking roids, I'm taking peptides. Honestly.
Whoa, he's taking roids and peptides? Why taking roids for him? He didn't even look that big, man. Clavicular gives us official stance on peptides. Okay.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I support people taking that.
However, reports of children as young as 14 accessing them via sketchy online stores are hitting doctors. This can be extremely dangerous given that they're unregulated injectable medications.
Yeah, you don't want to like inject shit. I mean, excuse my French, inject stuff you don't even know. Like, see, this guy's probably in the ER. I don't know if this is true. This video is, it says you tried peptides, but it backfired. You don't want to inject nothing that's like, you know, not graded or has been inspected. You take some like, you know, shady stuff. Like they talk about those drug dealers that, you know, they give you, hey, this is a new type of like, you know, drug, try it out for free. Here you go, buddy. You don't want to do that.
And without being dispensed by a trustworthy doctor, there's no telling what these little vials actually have inside them. By this stage, you're probably wondering, so what exactly is a peptide? Well, if you think back to biology class, you'll probably remember the fact that they're essentially chains of amino acids, which can stimulate certain growth hormones. These growth hormones include the ones responsible for building muscle, and as a result, people on the internet might advertise them as essential for building a muscular body.
Look at this short little dude, like, nothing against this guy. I bet you he works hard, both of his boy. What is this guy? He's, you know, trying to get big and swole, looking like a Filipino Rey Mysterio or something like that. That's what I mean. No, yeah, that's what he looks like to me, like a Filipino Asian. This guy, that guy right there, the guy, little guy with the hat. Rey Mysterio called him. Well, instead of Rey Mysterio, call him Lumpia Boy or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Or you might find beauty influencers claiming they release more collagen and thus make one's skin look younger and firmer.
That's a lie.
The issue is that these influencers have audiences in the hundreds of thousands or even millions, and when it gets to the stage that kids are able to buy them off the net and start injecting themselves, then suddenly the allure of
Here's a skinny dude that got some muscle. He thinks he's like, you know, the next Jeff Side, I think they call him. The next Ziz.
peptides fades extremely fast. After all, this entire issue has been pushed by the ever-growing beauty industry that has invaded every corner of social media. The belief that a person is not worth anything unless they are perfect in appearance has only grown from year to year. Back in 2019, articles about incels getting
Incels are having plastic surgery to attract women, but it won't work.
surgery in order to improve their appearance were seen as shocking and insecurity gone mad. Now, plastic surgery is downright cute compared to the insane routines millions of men and women put themselves through, which are normalized by the online communities that advertise them. The thing is, peptides can be useful, if prescribed properly by a doctor, just like any other medication. Perhaps the most famous application is one you're already aware of, insulin. Insulin is a peptide that can be manufactured to help those with diabetes manage their sugar levels, and as such is absolutely essential for improving the quality of life of those living with the illness. However, when certain peptides are abused for the sole point of cosmetics, this is where their application gets really dicey. In short, the idea that injecting peptides is a form of wellness demonstrates how invasive the beauty industry has become online. As
what happened to just being yourself? I get it. You get bombarded with all these good-looking people on social media, whether it be, you know, YouTube, Instagram models. You know, they use filters to look perfect, but I don't know, man. It's kind of sad.
Children as young as 14 are being influenced to do it themselves. See you next time on Lessons in Internet Culture.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's see what's next. We got... Oh, I saw this when I was on vacation. DLSS5 is uncanny. How like this basically looks AI. That's what they said.
Video just released a showcase of its latest tech, DLSS5, which promises to use AI upscaling in order to render lighting in real time. Unfortunately, it also makes everything look very much like it has an AI filter slapped over it, as video games quickly move into the uncanny valley. The problem is that DLSS5
DLSS like a Kratos. Ooh.
basically removes any semblance of art direction. Because video games are handcrafted to look a very specific way under very specific lighting and shadow conditions, messing with that can make characters look completely different. Or, instead of each game having a distinct art style, they all appear to be moving way too quickly into the ultra-realistic graphics area. The thing is, every new
There's magic that proves it.
iteration of DLSS has been more or less welcomed with open arms, as it actually helps generate frames in a way that is useful for gamers. The fact that DLSS 5 will instead generate lighting is a little bit boring, and as it turns out is also extremely GPU intensive at
Wow, man. Yeah, it's right. GPU intensive. I mean, I like to look at the scene once in a while, but like, I don't need it to be that great. You know what I'm saying? It's like heating up. Looking at this makes me think my computer's heating up just thinking about it, man. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice to look at it, but that's too much, man.
this time, as Digital Foundry notes that it requires two 5090 graphics cards simply to
Whoa, that's a lot, man. Look at
run.
that.
That is in no way affordable for the average user, so for the AI filter to become mainstream, it's definitely going to take a lot of time for consumer tech to catch up. As a result, there is a ton of discourse surrounding whether or not DLSS 5 is a good idea. Should we be implementing something that basically tries to put an ultra-realistic shader over every game, effectively killing what original vibe and atmosphere it had? With the rise of artificial intelligence and the slop it poops out at an astounding rate potentially putting artists out of work, it's no small wonder that the gaming world has responded with annoyance at Nvidia's latest tech. Again, when AI was used just to increase frame rates with its previous iterations of DLSS, that actually made sense as it benefited those with hardware limitations. Now that it's all about completely changing the look of a game in a way that seems uninspired and will take more computing power than before, it seems like gamers aren't particularly happy. That's not to say everyone hates those AI filters, however, it certainly does seem as if Nvidia is doing a "this will be graphics in 2013" thing. In short, DLSS 5 doesn't seem to be going quite the way Nvidia expected.
Yeah, people were talking crap. I saw this like on Reddit. I saw this on social media. People were just tearing up with these memes or whatever the case may be.
As gamers are already frustrated enough by the fact that AI is raising the prices of computer parts, and seeing an AI filter slapped onto their games under the guise of improvement is very frustrating. See you next time on Lessons in Internet Culture.
All right. Afro Man. I kind of saw this, but I didn't know what's going on with this. Let's check it out.
The most entertaining trial of the century has released in the
I heard he's a rapper or something, Afro Man. But then I got high because I got high. Afro Man started a trial of Sheriff Deputy's defamation lawsuit, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Why is he wearing that suit, man?
form of Afro Man being sued by the police that raided his house, took his money, and pointed guns at his kids. It all kicked off in Ohio, because of course it did, when Afro Man found his door smashed in by police with a warrant.
Hey, look at all his cars, man. He has some money. What's going on? He got some nice cars. Except for the green one. I don't like the green one, but
for drug trafficking and kidnapping. He was never charged or found guilty of either of those things.
was he swatted or something?
And as a result released.
Is that Ouija board? What is that over there? It's like is it like some type of, you know, like plant-based paraphernalia that people use to, you know, indulge in? If you know what I mean.
Music expressing his frustrations on the matter. Notably, the entire thing was recorded on his home surveillance system at the time, until the police decided they didn't want anyone watching what they were doing and cut the cameras. In a bizarre turn of events, the police officers who raided his house ended up being so offended by these videos that they actually went ahead and sued Afro Man, arguing that his video Lemon Pound Cake violated their rights.
Lemon pound cake, okay.
And as a result, the artist owed them millions of dollars in damages.
Wow.
The resulting trial, which was recorded in full for the public to view, contains some of the funniest moments the court has ever seen. For one, the entire music video was required to be played in full, to which one of the deputies broke down and started crying, all whilst Afro Man nodded along to his song whilst wearing his iconic American flag suit.
Okay, let me skip that because I don't want to get in trouble. Alright.
It's absolutely the Streisand effect out in full force, as the fact that these police officers wanted him to take his videos down so badly is what has resulted in them being viewed in an even more negative light. Afro Man even said the unfortunate incident was an opportunity for him to run numbers up and be an entertainer. Clearly, he'd rather the whole thing have not happened, but it did, and so he's using it to his—
Well, that's smart. Like, what do they say? What did they say? Any bad press is good press, or whatever the case. What is that saying is? Yeah, something like that.
Advantage in any way he can.
Because people like
And of
negativity.
course, once everyone was questioned in front of the
Supposedly.
jury and the proceedings were all
Well,
over,
negativity is what
all
people like to
charges were
watch.
dismissed and Afro Man prevailed.
shock value
Because
stuff.
when everything that happened was put under a microscope and reviewed, it turns out freedom of speech won the day and no defamation took place. It's the perfect example of how an artist can use their talent to make a strong case for themselves, and it does bring to attention the fact that some people in power assume because they have authority, they can get
They can do whatever they want.
away with pushing others around. In short, the trial in which Afro
Is he a pimp? What's going on? Afro Man, he's a pimp. He has a little pimp cup and everything.
Man was sued by the police officers who raided his
Convict Afro
home
Man
ended up
found-
being dismissed, as it quickly became clear that it was so ridiculous it became
11 pound
entertainment itself. See you next time on Lessons in Internet Culture.
All right. And then we have Meta killed the metaverse 21 hours ago. All right. Oh, what is that over there? Oh my gosh. Dubai chocolate. Dubai chocolate.
After $80 billion of wasted money and an entire name change, the
billion
metaverse has
dollars?
more or less been officially shut down, thanks to Mark Zuckerberg calling it quits on Meta Horizons, the virtual land that was released in 2021 as a competitor to VR chat.
Do you have a favorite feature to use in here?
Yeah.
Something that you
it's-
think is very cool?
Check this out.
Wow.
So that's pretty neat.
This is so
Small element
That's fake. There's no way he did that. Metaverse app for VR staying open barely. Meta Horizon roles will be available in Quest headsets after a while, after original aiming for June 15.
of it are to remain on mobile, however, the promise of its existence as a VR wonderland has well and truly been turned off. This is after Facebook went through an entire identity change back in 2021, as it seems like the company was convinced the metaverse would be the hottest new thing in the virtual reality
It wasn't. I think like VR chat's more popular than this.
space. The idea was
Way
that the internet
popular.
could be experienced differently. Instead of clicking on a store or scrolling through it on your mobile, you could instead get your virtual avatar to walk in and talk to a person at a virtual counter.
Nah, man. What are we gonna do that for? Most people don't hate. Most people don't like to talk to people. And it's for shopping. Like, nah, man.
Or you could purchase virtual land for astoundingly high prices. Now that what was supposed to be their flagship hub for people to hang out in is undoubtedly losing the little audience it had, the entire rebrand of Facebook to Meta seems a little bit embarrassing. The fact that the company got so swept up in the idea of a metaverse, otherwise known as the Web 3.0, seems like a drastically expensive mistake.
I mean, they might have. I think in the future, probably we're gonna be, eventually be more into like virtual reality than anything, instead of being outside. I think they're probably ahead of their time right now, and people are, just don't want to do that. But I think eventually, because we spend so much time online, a lot, that we'll eventually probably go into this virtual reality, either like what's that movie called? With like Ready Player One, I guess you could think of that was one of them. But there's another one I remember. It's like I forgot what it was. Like people were in a virtual world, they look young, look good or whatever the case would be, and then when like you actually see who they are, they're like old and like like nasty as heck. I think eventually we're gonna go, maybe in the future for sure, we're gonna go into virtual reality and like experience the world that way instead of like going outside, or because people don't like to go outside. No, they just want to stay inside. Internet, wet games or whatever. Probably gaming. I know gaming's already in VR, but like more interactive, probably gaming and experiencing like socially online.
Remember those clips where Zuckerberg tried to convince everyone that from now on, all business meetings would take place with headsets on? Most of the world instantly became extremely doubtful that it would work out at the time, but the man just kept on pushing and pushing until eventually it became clear that it just wasn't working out. On that note, virtual reality is cool, but the idea of living in a heavy, blocky headset that either needs to be wired in at all times to charge, or is simply too big and annoying to wear 24/7, is just not appealing to a mainstream audience.
Yeah.
I personally have a VR headset and I enjoy playing games every now and then, but I still prefer to experience the internet through a PC or mobile rather than grabbing a headset to do something. If the metaverse could be worn like a pair of lightweight glasses, then sure, it might be something people are invested in.
Or like eventually you're gonna have like some type of like wiring in your head that you press and then you go virtually or something like that. Like basically you like walked into empty space or whatever, a room you have in the house or whatever, right? Like your VR room, you something probably installed into you, press, and then you go virtually, and that's how you experience the world.
But for now, the investment cost in terms of money, time, and comfortability just isn't there.
Most people don't have the money.
In
to spend all
short,
that
it looks
stuff.
like Meta's version of the metaverse is finally winding down, as the idea of wearing VR headsets to access Meta Horizons just wasn't appealing enough to a mainstream audience. See you next time on Lessons in Internet Culture.
Yeah, too expensive. It's not entertaining. People don't want that. I think that girl Dubai chocolate. That's kind of it's kind of like this. Yeah, that's too much, girl. Okay, lessons in meme culture. All right. 5 days ago. Wait, what's we got? Let's go to the videos real quick. Okay, I already saw this one. Okay, let's go to 6 days ago. Big John. What is Big John Machine? I don't even know what that is.
The ability of a song to be used as a benchmark to test how good a speaker is has manifested in the form of Big Bad John, specifically the version sung by Jeff Castellucci, which shows off his insanely deep voice.
Big John. What looks like Slimer or whatever from like Ghostbusters back in the 80s. Big Bad John.
It would appear the idea first manifested with a post by Ice3353 on the 2nd of April 2025, as they suggested the idea of Big Bad John as an audio file recording after playing it on their sister's Bluetooth speaker, then having a revelation after playing it on their own system. From there, the concept of the Big Bad John machine struck, as lovers of sound began joking that every multi-million-dollar speaker system exists only to play Big Bad John.
Okay.
After all, Jeff's voice is dynamic enough to stress test any setup, demonstrating the idea that if the speakers can handle him without distorting, then you've got a true audiophile structure on your hands.
Okay,
However, clips of these systems became bigger and bigger until eventually hitting breaking point. The trend became subverted when audiophiles
I mean, I'm not on TikTok, so and I didn't see anything on social media about Big John Machine. That's why I need to watch this video, because I'm not so in. I mean, I'm on the internet, but I'm not like so internet. I know all these like ultra memes. Okay, cool. This is whatever. Let's watch it.
Began running in the other direction to test how shitty and small of a machine they could play Big Bad John on. The cool thing about this trend,
Come on, man. Toilet. Okay, dog. Okay. Alright.
and is that, because it spent so much time gestating within the music community, it has managed to last for months and months. It's no flash in the pan brain rot clip that fizzles out in a single day. It's a true example of a meme that has continued for a significant portion of time, with the timeline nearly reaching a year as of the
A year? I never heard of this. A year? I never heard of this.
writing of this video. Plus, it's evolved into its own subgenre away from speakers. Shitposters are taking pictures of cartoon characters like Gumball and using AI to make them look sweaty and wet, as if they're Big John himself, fresh from working in the mines. Meanwhile, the music community has always provided its own undercurrents of memes away from the general population. However, occasionally they breach containment and become mainstream. Another example of this would be the LIIC, which has become such a cliche that spotting it in a jazz song is a trend in itself. In short,
I'm not a musician, so I don't know none of these musician memes.
the concept of the Big John machine has evolved from finding the most ridiculous and expensive audiophile setup to stress test, to going in the other direction and playing Big Bad John on something made in a cave with a box of scraps, to representing big sweaty cartoon characters, as Big John has been evolving over the course of a year and still goes strong. What meme would you guys like me to give a lesson in next? Let me know in the comments below.
Alright. What else we got? Yahoo situation is cooked. Okay, let's look at this.
Seems to be some confusion over whether or not the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, is alive. This is because the
Yeah, I heard that supposedly they think he was dead. It was AI. But okay.
videos that have been posted showing footage of him walking around and doing day-to-day business are speculated to be AI generated.
Stop saying I died. I'm clearly alive, right? I'm so alive right now.
Since the start of the situation in Iran,
What the heck? What is that? That's like some AI. Netanyahu death has been confirmed a few minutes ago by the U.S. military base in Israel. It looks so fake.
millions of AI-generated images of his death have been swirling around social media, to the point that the idea of his death has become a meme in itself. What's made people genuinely concerned, however, is that some of these videos appear to show him having extra digits on his fingers, a clear tell of AI interference. And so, when a video of him was posted at a cafe and he made the joke, "I'm dying for a coffee," and went on to show his hand to demonstrate only 5 fingers were visible, it seemed like a concentrated effort to dispel any rumors.
He's alive.
However, this clip only seemed to produce the opposite effect, as the fact that he didn't spill his coffee when picking it up despite it being extremely full is being treated as suspicious. Of course, all of this could be a simple and messy coincidence. It's just that we live in a post-truth world.
Yeah, we can't
Not
believe
only
anything
is it
we see.
easy to lie on the internet and spread misinformation and disinformation in a post-truth environment, but actually spotting things that are true and correct and taking them as fact is increasingly difficult too. The spread of AI has meant
Yeah, like you can't trust anything anymore online. I know like older people, like your parents probably, your grandparents send you all these videos about, oh, look what's going on the news, and you have to tell them that's AI, grandma, grandpa, or mom and dad, that's not real. So it's kind of funny that, you know, it's true, we can't trust anything now online because everything could be fake. Eventually AI is going to get so good you can't even tell, I bet. And they're doing AI music. They're doing AI music right now, you know what I mean? And it's really good. Some of it's really, really good. You can't knock it. I'm like, wow, that just sounds really good. So I mean, and then now they're doing like what, like AI movies, AI like all that stuff. People are showing like not a full movie, but they show like what they can do basically, and it looks really, really good. I mean, it's getting there. You could tell it's fake. You could tell like, oh, that's AI, but eventually it's gonna get really, really good. Remember like back in the day, like was it Scorpion King the movie with the mummy with the rock? The AI was like, today's standards is like horrible, right? Imagine, and then eventually a couple years later, AI, I mean, like special effects have gotten really, really good. So think about how AI is gonna. I mean, it's good, but imagine like years from now, or like a couple years from now, it's gonna get so good. Like you already have like what AI generated social media accounts, right? Like with girls, and people like follow them. I saw one that had there was an article about a OnlyFans AI girl, and people paid money. So eventually, I mean, you nothing against VTubers here is great. Those are people behind like a, you know, like a character or whatever. But eventually, like I think streaming is gonna have AI generated characters, like not VTubers, because you know that's a real person. I'm saying like it's generated. It's not a real person. So you're gonna have somebody behind putting codes or whatever the case may be. It's getting crazy.
that video evidence is no longer enough. The powers that be, especially those who are trying to prove Netanyahu is alive, need to go to extreme lengths such as live press conferences to get their point across. Otherwise, any clip of him is immediately going to be met with suspicion and only encourage viewers who think he is dead that they are right. Netanyahu being a controversial leader has led to his own identity becoming a meme too, with many calling him the Big Yahoo, perhaps to skirt any censorship around discussing him. In short, the idea of the political figure's death has become a trend in the digital ecosystem, as any and all videos of him uploaded to social media are targets of extreme suspicion, given the fact that some of them demonstrated artifacts that are common in AI-generated videos. What meme would you guys like me to give a lesson in next? Let me know in the comments below.
I remember!
Alright, Socrates, okay, the great scholar.
Socrates showing up purely to rage bait a skeleton is an incredible storytelling vehicle within the digital ecosystem. It all started with Mr. Data Visuals, who utilized the ZACD Films format of an
I think I've seen this person, they do like AI shorts or whatever, like a skull guy.
Animation to explain what would happen in very specific situations, but put his own spin on the formula with a skeleton character to provide a little more visual interest. Within the video, What If You Spent 1 Week in Ancient Greece, posted on the 14th of February this year, the skeleton encounters Socrates, who explains the meaning of justice until the skeleton's brain hurts. From there on, the dynamic between Socrates and the skeleton
Okay, I don't get this. Is this funny, or I guess I'm not getting on
Skeleton was picked up by the masses and turned into a running gag. Socrates now asks, if this is your power, then what are you without it, to rage bait, and sometimes starts twerking afterwards.
Really? Alright.
It's goofy and stupid, but it just
Come on, man. What's up with this? I guess it's like brain rot, stupid stuff, I guess, or people like, I guess.
Works. Plus, this is a demonstration of how memes can lead to further education, especially in regards to famous icons from ancient history. Socrates was known for his philosophizing and was the teacher of Plato, who in turn mentored Aristotle. The big three of Western philosophy start with him, and the memes surrounding him being a rage baiter are thus likely to encourage viewers to learn more.
Yeah, that makes sense, because, you know, you like, oh, what's this so popular? You don't know. Then you kind of look up who this person really was, you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, he's right about that.
After all, Socrates' ideas were apparently so controversial at the time that he was put to death for corrupting the youth and ungodliness. As a result, it's easy to imagine that
Come on, bro. What the heck is this? Man? I want to see. Come on, man.
seeing him twerking and making fun of a skeleton that time traveled to ancient Greece perhaps wouldn't be so far
Gosh.
off from reality. On that note, whilst AI has been used extensively for this trend, there are those who enjoy it so much that they've animated it by hand, which is fun to see. As such, the character of the skeleton is no longer dedicated to just one account. It's clearly easily replicable by anyone with the knowledge to do so, and thus fits into one of the core tenets of meme culture. A meme needs to be easily made, recognizable, and
How Zucker feels up the rage base someone in ancient Greece trying to sell modern fast food, and then he starts Tom about some if food is your power, what are you without it?
And this particular format fits all three requirements. In short, Socrates being the ultimate rage baiter is a trend that has evolved from Socrates' real-life reputation. However, his beef with a fictional time-traveling skeleton is simply the narrative vehicle that has allowed this conflict to become a meme. What meme would you guys like me to give a lesson in next? Let me know in the comments below.
Some of the stuff hurts my brain, man.
Like and subscribe.
This stuff hurts my brain, man. Spider-Man is back. Oh, that's the new Spider-Man. I don't need to see that. Everybody's seen that. I just hit jackpot. All right, I kind of saw this already, so.
I Just Hit the Jackpot has become the latest annoying yet catchy track to grace the digital ecosystem, as the tune was uploaded by Game Boy Jones in late January as a reference to Jujutsu Kaisen character Hakari.
Yeah, I think it's a Toka song. I think it's a Brazilian song.
The Hakari animation Game Boy Jones referenced in this upload is significant,
Back
as
in
it was created by
2023,
Ninjaristic Ninja back in 2023,
Yep.
and then combined with Tukadonka
Sorry, not Toka. Tuka. My bad.
Funk. The Hit the Jackpot song covers Tukadonka, and as a result, it revitalizes
7.1 million views, 49 million views, 25 million views. Jeez.
the trend from 2023, in which footage of Hakari dancing to funk was popular.
Tukadonka.
Given the fact that Hakari stars frequently in the latest season of JJK, which is currently airing, it makes a lot of sense that this song would become so popular so quickly. And the genius of it is the fact that even if a person doesn't know JJK, it's still annoyingly catchy enough to become a genuine trend. On that note, I have to commend Game Boy Jones because the man has genuinely made a name for himself by rapping or covering anime-related music.
I never heard of this guy, Game Boy Jones, but now I know because of this.
Which takes a ton of time and effort to pull off.
Wait, does he have nail polish? Is that a new thing? With anime fans? Males, they do nail polish? Paint their nails? I don't know. Is that nail polish? All right. I mean, to each his own, I guess.
It's indicative of the pop culture environment we find ourselves in 2026, whereupon anime
Comment meow if you see. Okay.
is accepted and expected to be popular. However, what's really interesting is that the involvement of the Hakari dance meme demonstrates that Lobotomy Kaisen will always reign supreme no matter what. Whenever a new season airs on TV, the world cannot escape its insanity. It's a long-running expectation that JJK fans are some of the most intense about the franchise they love, so it would seem that this song is an excuse to bring some of that energy to the forefront. Meanwhile, the track has become a proper representation of any moment that a person finds something they like.
I never heard of that. I've seen this. I guess I'm not really on TikTok, so that much. So I don't.
As despite it being catchy, it can also be utilized to imply a certain level of ridiculousness or stupidity. After all, I Just Hit the Jackpot implements many features that commonly perform well within the digital ecosystem. Not only is the initial upload an anime reference, it coasts on the pre-established trend of funk music, and then Game Boy Jones gave it a recognizable human face. As such, it is unsurprising that this song has become so
with 24% is generally be acting when the teacher gets run over by a bulldozer.
widespread across the internet, as it demonstrates a subtle return to Lobotomy Kaizen, as well as a catchy track that can be implemented however a poster wishes, making Hit the Jackpot a Lobotomy Kaizen vehicle.
Is he nail painted? What's going on with that? I don't know, man. Whatever.
For communication.
I don't know the dude.
What meme would you guys like me to give a lesson in next? Let me know in the comments.
All right. Oh, rest in peace, Chuck Norris. I just heard about this. Yeah, man. Legend, bro. This guy's a legend. Let's check this out, man. Give respects. Respects to the legend. Chuck Norris. Rest in peace, Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, the man known for inspiring memes about his extraordinary abilities, has passed away at the age of 86 due to a sudden illness.
Dang.
Whilst he had a storied career of acting in films such as Way of the Dragon with the legendary Bruce Lee, as well as founding his own martial arts style and dojo, it was the memes that really kept the name of Chuck Norris going. The trend started.
Yeah, well, Alexander Bell invented the telephone. He had 3 missed calls from Chuck Norris. Yeah, I remember seeing all of this stuff, yeah.
Started off in roughly 2005 and saw many people sharing Chuck Norris facts, such as when Alexander Bell invented the telephone, he had 3 missed calls from Chuck Norris. This one joke managed to last years, finding itself referenced almost everywhere as it became a running gag to hype Chuck Norris up as the toughest man alive. And despite
When Chuck goes online, ChatGPT who asks him a question. ChatGPT, hello Chuck, can I ask you a question? Okay.
fizzling out in the early 2010s after a legendary run, it still persisted online up until the day Chuck Norris passed. In fact, his granddaughter even wrote a touching tribute referencing his legacy on the internet, saying, "You all knew Chuck Norris as the man that counted to infinity twice, the man who got bit by a cobra and the cobra died. He was the man who would not do a push-up but would push the earth down. Chuck Norris was known for many amazing things, but what I'm most proud of is I got to know him as my papa." As a result, this video exists to recognize and celebrate the impact the man had on digital culture as he immortalized himself within the boundaryless parameters of social media. It speaks to the idea of what happens when a person passes away after leaving such a legacy online, as the words Chuck Norris find themselves generating huge spikes in interest via Google Trends. Perhaps this is the modern version of generating pseudo-immortality via a plaque or statue erected in one's name. Time will tell if the name of Chuck Norris will continue to exist.
I think so. I think it'll continue because he'll always. Bruce Lee's still going. I think they always mention about Chuck Norris immortalized, so they're still talking about it to this day, and he died like in the late 70s. Yeah, and then. Sure, people keep talking about Chuck Norris
across the internet long after he's become a meme, as the generation who watched him in films and TV shows also passes on and will no longer be around to understand why he's so tough. Perhaps many will see him associated with these tough guy quotes and know him for being strong for the sake of it, or perhaps given the outpouring of articles about the man, they will remain educated on his achievements. Any way you look at it, despite Chuck Norris passing away, there's no doubt the internet is still being strongly educated on
that's pretty cool. I didn't see that.
Manner in which he became known as the toughest man ever, celebrating his achievements and his life. What meme would you guys like me to give a lesson in next? Let me know in the comments below.
And remember, like and subscribe.
All right. That is it for that one. Okay.